So Battlefield 1 has been out for quite a while now, and recently some changes to the game have made it feel very different. And in my opinion, it's now better than what it was in the early part of 2017. This is not strange for a Battlefield game. You only need to look at Battlefield 4 for proof of that. So what I've done is compile a list of 7 reasons why you should come back and play Battlefield 1 if you stop playing in the past. Many of the issues you might have had with the game might now have been fixed or changed. Reason number 1. All players can now access certain DLC maps without needing to own the DLC or have a premium pass. With the January update for Battlefield 1, DICE has made 2 night maps from the French DLC free to all players. These are Prise de Tahur and Nivelles Nights. These are now accessible indefinitely and have been added to the base game map pool, raising the number of base game maps to 12. But there's even more here. DICE has recently allowed any player of the game, whether you have the DLC or not, to play operations that include DLC maps as part of the active operations campaign. This means if Beyond the Marne or Red Tide appear as part of the active operation campaign, you will be able to play on those DLC maps included in those operations, even if you don't own the DLC or have a premium pass. More maps open to more players. And of course, premium trials and premium friends is still active, so there are many different ways that you can now access maps if you don't have the DLC. Reason number 2, the gunplay just got a load better. Battlefield 1 launched with a lot of fanfare, but many long-time players of the franchise found the new approach to weapon balance was a little bit alien. DICE decided to focus more on optimal engagement ranges, splitting each class and their weapons into different ranges. Recently, as part of the same January patch, DICE did major work on this balance and tightened up the gameplay significantly. SMGs are now more deadly in close quarters, and shotguns got their shells redesigned to make their damage more consistent. Medic rifles got more power at range and can now be fired at their maximum rate of fire for longer without losing accuracy, and the light machine guns had their bullet sponge effect removed and their damage buffed at mid to close range. Everything feels much crisper now and will let the skill of the player and their positioning shine through, rather than simply who has the most bullets left to get shots on target with. Reason number 3, you now have more to do in Battlefield 1. I mentioned operation campaigns. These are 2 operations tied together where you need to score 25,000 points in each of them to unlock an operations battle pack. Now you can do this 3 times a day and unlock specific weapon skins that are more in tune with the operations that you've been playing. Once a new operation campaign rolls around and you get your first operations battle pack for that campaign, you're guaranteed to get a melee puzzle piece in there as well. Either that puts you one step closer to a new melee weapon, or you get 270 free scraps. DICE also added specializations with the Russian DLC back in September. These are locked behind service assignments, which require you to do certain actions or complete specific requirements before you can use them. Specializations will change some of your soldiers' stats depending on which ones are applied. So for example, if you've got reciprocity unlocked for the medic class and you apply that to your soldier, when you heal an ally, you'll also get 12.5 HP yourself if you aren't fully healed. These specializations add a bit of variance to the gameplay, but by no means do they break the balance that DICE has created. And soon, more of these will be added with the Apocalypse DLC, but this time they're called Afflictions, and instead, they will hinder your soldier in some way to make you change your playstyle and experience different elements of the game. And also, all 5 weekly medals now track at the same time. No longer do you have to spend 5 times as long completing every single one of them. Sadly, you still cannot choose which medals you're working towards. They are still randomly assigned on a weekly basis. Reason number 4, operations in the server browser. This is something the community asked the developers to add for months and months and months, and finally they gave in and added it. It's now much easier to find an active operation and not be thrown into an empty server by the matchmaker. Reason number 5, the DLC game mode Frontlines has been added to nearly all of the base game maps in Battlefield 1, giving every single player of the game an additional mode to play. Frontlines is arguably one of the best modes in the game anyway, and it mixes Conquest and Rush together in a linear style with 2 teams of 16 fighting it out across different maps. Reason number 6, if you're a DLC owner or a premium pass holder, there is now more content than ever for you to play with. 24 primary and secondary weapons, 16 maps, 2 elite classes, a new behemoth, new game modes, melee weapons, countless weapon skins, new vehicles, and even more has been added since Battlefield 1 launched, bringing the amount of content right up to what you should expect from a multiplayer shooter. And there's even more coming with the Apocalypse DLC in late February. 5 more maps, a new game mode, plenty of new weapons for you to experience. If you bought Premium early on and thought you'd wasted your time, I wouldn't argue with you. Now is the time to come back. There's so much more here for you to experience. And lastly, reason 7, more community tools have been added to Battlefield 1. DICE added platoons earlier on in 2017, that makes it easier for you guys to party up and play together, and DICE added some more features to the rental server program that allows players to customize the game experience. More admin tools are in place, and DICE even added a mid-round balancer recently that keeps parties together whilst maintaining a good server balance overall. These features still aren't anywhere near the level of what Procon allowed for Battlefield 4 on the PC, but nonetheless, it's still much more than what we had at the launch of the game. Now, you might still not want to come back and play Battlefield 1, and that's totally cool. I get that there are hundreds of games out there that you could be playing. But there is plenty going for it right now, and considering the next Battlefield game is only about 8 months away, October 2018, now is as good time as any to get back involved in the Battlefield community. Thanks very much for watching, leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments section, and until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.